Welcome back to Divinity 648. My name is Christina. I'm a high vibrational energy intuitive. This is solstice energy reading for Pisces. I was just channeling my part of Piscean energy, and it really is about clearing the karmic cycles, not just your own, but the ones that involve your family, like your lineage. Some of you are actually correcting karmic imbalances on a level that supersedes the wildest. So basically, so in my lineage, there's this toxicity between siblings. Certain siblings are endowed with certain abilities, and because of the behavior of other siblings and the way that they react when they're given the slightest bit of power or authority in any way, because of that toxic vibration around that energy, they are not allowed to carry that level of authority within themselves, because they'll abuse it, right? It's like karmic cycles, karmic lessons, do the work. You don't want to be left behind. Um, so I was just reviewing and doing things, and I got to see how, I was kind of curious about it, how the Piscean energy, your solstice cycles. And basically, it's just beautiful energy. So if you catch yourself reflecting and saying, my whole family does it this way, I'm not doing it this way, and you really end up making a change and you break cycles, not fearing what anybody, you know, fearless. It's fearlessness. I don't ever like to bring up my cards anymore or anything that I'm working with, or if I'm just channeling, I don't like to show all my crystals or anything like that, because a lot of people like to come on YouTube and attack people, plain and simple. So I wish I could show you the way these cards fell. Unfortunately, I will not. But if you are a subscriber to my website, I will actually post these and make them available. I'm going to post these now. And even if you're not a subscriber now and you become one down the road, you'll be able to see this and obviously play this, and understand the cards. And it's just so beautiful, Pisces. You know, you are balanced, masculine and feminine. You were born that way, okay? Um, you literally are an old soul, very introverted, a lot of strength coming through. Lapis lazuli is great, moldavite is great. You've got serious guardian angels surrounding you. You have this, you listen naturally, everything flows beautifully. You need to trust yourself. If you found something that you really enjoy and it's a lot of fun for you, and this works for you, you need to get on that. You need to get on it. So whatever it is that you like to do, I mean, whether you are a blogger, or you have social media and you motivate people, or whatever your I wish I could make this my living thing is, just do it. Just really take off on it. Um, I know there's a lot of impatience going on, um, especially with the being introverted. Like, you're ready to just get out. Like, there's like maybe two more puzzle pieces left, or three. And then you're ready to really come out. Like, you're not that lion. If you listen to morning messages, I've been talking about a lion who just stood up and walked through those gates. And there was three types of responses. Some people were, in pause and admiration. Others were like the deer with headlights, like in shock. And then the rest of them were just taking off, fleeing, like, oh shit, I was not well behaved and this bitch got up kind of energy. You are in this, you're not there yet. You're in this isolation mode. Um, and that's okay. You listen, your mind is working on overload. You are spiritually manifesting these amazing things for yourself. You don't want to stop. Don't put anything negative. Whenever you think something negative, just clear that right out of your space and rewrite it really fast. Like revisualize it in its entirety if possible, or where you just picked off, but with a better response, right? Because the best thing about manifestations and trusting in the universe is if they can't give you what you're asking for, they're going to give you something better, right? And when you're not doing spell work, but you're actually having spiritual conversations with your higher self, which is in direct communication with all of the gods, you want to make sure that you don't violate anybody's free will. That's the key, right? Never, ever, ever, ever violate somebody's free will. Never disrespect somebody's sacred integrity of who they are, right? Like you know, beauty spells. Bitches hate when somebody's glowing naturally and they need like 20 fucking pounds of makeup in 5 hours in the goddamn bathroom. And instead of them, what can I do on myself? What can I do for myself? Oh, let me find a beauty spell for myself. They're attacking other females or other men to mess with their looks because they're intimidated. Um, and then they'll do things like, give me that, or I want that, and it's just like, why can't you just love yourself enough to actually raise your vibration high enough so that way you can radiate natural beauty? Because natural beauty is not physical characteristics. Natural beauty is when you vibrate so beautifully that it just radiates out. And no matter what you look like and how it fits on your face, because you're radiating such a high vibration, whoever looks at you, they're going to look at you and only see the beauty in you, which is why you're everybody's type, which is why everybody loves you, which is why everybody wants to talk to you, because they see the beauty in you, right? And when you're vibrating high, you radiate like the sun, the same type of energy. So the people gravitate towards that, right? Like you want to be in the sun, you don't want to be in the shade, you want to be in the sun, you want to have that warmth on you, especially after winter, right? So that's why people gravitate towards higher vibrational people. Not for nothing. It's not anything to do with that person specifically. It's their energy. It's that high vibration cleanses your aura. And it's almost like a selenite. It will cleanse the aura of others around it, right? It will raise their vibration, which pulls them up out of whatever the fuck they're going on. It's almost like a walking amethyst or a walking selenite wand, like if you can bring in that energy and bring yourself up, you radiate natural beauty. No matter who you are, what your religion, nothing. It has nothing to do with, I'm going to go for plastic surgery. Sorry, doctors, I'm not trying to throw shade. But if you literally raise your vibration, you don't need to worry about any of that other shit because people are going to only see the beautiful parts of you. Okay, like, and there's something beautiful inside of everybody for anyone, right? So moving on, Pisces, this is the time, right? You need to make sure you're maintaining enough time to take breaks. Don't drain yourself or overwhelm yourself. There's a lot of mastery going on, so you're not like wondering, who am I, where am I going to be, what am I good at? You just know, right? So some of you, it's video gaming. Some of you are just badass at a game and you have a hysterical personality. So video gaming is your calling, right? Like networking with people, playing certain games, being hysterical, laughing, raising vibrations of the other players because whenever they hear you, it just makes them happy. They can't wait to interact with you because you're a higher vibration, which people gravitate towards. Same difference with hairdressing or makeup or nail techs, massage therapy, any industry. You want to be in an occupation that allows you to pour yourself into it. So that way it's an even balance of energy. You want to keep your scales good, right? So good karma. If you can't do that, you have to work a hard job or whatever. At least be that light. Work on your vibration. When you go into work, no matter how shitty that job is, have a smile on your face. Make it a point to go and say hello to everyone because you're going to raise their vibrations up too. It's just a natural thing about being high vibe. So, either way, Pisces, I'm giving you this because a lot of Piscean energy is about asking questions. How do I do this? How? I'm so impatient. It just feels impatient. Um, so I feel like you have literally just two missing puzzle pieces, and you need that to complete everything. And solstice energy, the energy right after the 22nd, going into the third, I think. What was the number that came up? I'm pretty sure it was the third. I got 3-3. Okay, so it's actually three. So it's March 3rd. So from this, solstice, which started weeks ago, even though tomorrow's like the actual day, it's gonna go. This energy is gonna flow with you up until like March 3rd. It's not gonna be as intense. It's going to fade as all energy does, right? Like, when was the last time anybody brought up what was that crazy thing that people were talking about out in Boston? Like, there was some like sickness going around. I can't even think of it, right? Right. You just forget about shit. It's phases, it's waves of things that you experience and goes away. So you're gonna have this entrepreneur, like, you might not even know that that's what it is, but when you really pour yourself into it, art, music, anything, you're really going to take off with it. You're really going to do something really special with it. So try to find rest so that way you're not caught up in becoming that workaholic. Try to take a break in between, do a schedule, and don't overdo it, right? Like I used to, I'm not even getting into that. So I'm also getting a lot of intellectual upgrades for you with this energy that's coming through. There's a lot of intellectual upgrades where you're going to be probably in isolation, spiritual solitude. I love spiritual solitude. Um, do the work. Get all that information in, meet your spirit guides, don't rush it. If you're having a hard time getting their names, don't stress it. Needing names and having titles for everything is a physical third dimensional thing. And I understand that it's still a physical thing, but it's not going to be as important anymore because the third dimension is gone. Yeah. Being in the fifth dimension is telepathic communication, visiting people in dreams that are still alive, communicating to a point where you have an inner knowing, the intuition. This new era. Oh, I don't want to give too much away. So this new era is more so about going within, healing, growing, clearing karmic cycles, and just being, right? Intellectual upgrades is going to prompt you to really communicate with your spirit guides, your ancestors, and your loved ones in the physical. But you're still going to need verbal communication, but people are just going to be more in tune, right? More in sync with each other, because the solar plexus, it's so complicated to explain to just whatever. So bottom line, fifth dimension communication is going to be really strong for Piscean energy. There's a lot of strength coming through. So you've overcome a lot. You're going to continue to overcome some things. I feel like you've had to be strong in the physical. Um, and all that stuff, all that's done to you is pretty much just really put you in alignment so that way you can be found, if that makes sense. So if you are like a Twitcher person, I'm sorry, I don't know the words. If you go on Twitch and you talk and you interact, everything just flows naturally, effortlessly, and beautifully. And it doesn't have to be beautiful, right? It could be masculine, depending on what you're doing and talking about. But it just reaches the right ears. Okay, the right people will find you. You don't have to try too hard. There's going to be a lot of recognition coming through for you too, especially when it comes to communication. Uh, Finances are going to improve for you as well. Focus on being content with things that don't fit what you wanted, right? Sometimes we really want something and because we can't have it, we get like a little disappointed. But it's definitely important to just be like, you know what? I'm okay with that. I can be okay with this. Like, you got to find peace with certain things. So you want to make sure that even though you're not getting everything you want, you're getting most of it, right? Getting most of it. But the rest of it's coming. You just have to learn how to be patient. That impatient shit is not working. So just two puzzle pieces are missing. They're coming. Literally. Oh my gosh. I really want to pick up these cards for you, but I know better. Um, I have kids, teenagers in this house, so they're having some fun in the next room. So if you hear it, I'm sorry, but this is a home. Um, so yeah, the two missing puzzle pieces are coming through for you very nicely. There's going to be a little bit of chaos, but it doesn't feel like it affects you directly. If anything, you kind of have your back to it because you're focusing on where you're going and not so much what other people are dealing with and doing. Um, some of you, some of you are walking away from something that causes you conflict. And you're going towards healing, you're going towards someone that, or something, or a dynamic, or an opportunity that fulfills you or feeds your soul kind of energy. And this is new beginnings that you are actually, I think you both manifested it, or one really manifested it, and then the other one started manifesting, and then the two different manifestations kind of come together, but it's like 10 times better than what it was. So I guess that's that. Can be okay if it's not exactly what you asked for, because it's pretty much better in a sense. I feel like and if you and another person are not the dynamic, it's a job or it's education or it's something like that, then the universe would have been the other person in that dynamic helping things come together. And that's that point where you would be like, okay, it's not everything I asked for, but it's so much better because of how it came about, kind of deal. Um, so there's a lot of intellectual things going on, a lot of changes, a lot of motion, no stagnation, which is like the best thing possible. So as long as you stay on track with obtaining those two puzzle pieces or those two missing links, and you keep fulfilling yourself, right? You keep your vibration high. You don't want to be plowed over by those waves. You want to be the one that rides those waves. And it's okay to get hit by them. You just don't want to get sucked under. So, Pisces, that's pretty much what I have for you. I am now going to do Taurus. Okay, so Taurus, excuse me. I'm so proud of you. The past is gone. You're actually so happy. Past is not even bothering you anymore at this point because they're the ones that look like the deer in headlights. Like, they're kind of just like, what kind of flow. Um, there's a lot of happiness radiating from the Taurus energy. And I don't know if it's because there's some type of a contract or some type of um, balancing out of scales that lead to a lot of happiness and a lot of fulfillment. You'll know if how this applies because you're going to ask for a sign and then you're going to get that sign. Um, some of you, Some of you are a force not to be played with. And this can be in any way. However, like I said, ask for a sign, you'll get it. Um, you have to make sure you're doing things with love. And remember, love means unconditional. Love is that tell me you have the nurturing part. So listen, send out love, be love, but make no mistake, like a mother's love, there's some discipline. There's tough love, right? There's loving from afar. And there's the love that hurts you, but you love somebody so much that it's okay to hurt yourself because it's for the best for both of you. Um, and I just see all kinds of stuff coming through, but it's like tough love. It's from love. Send out that love, but I feel like the love that's being sent out is tough love. Really. Be very patient. Be very patient. It's important to maintain that grounded, humble, go with the flow. This is happening for me, not to me. Divine order, divine timing. Um, there's going to be a lot of movement going on in your life. So you want to make sure that you're very flexible within self. You're able to be fluid with the things, be adaptable. You might have been seeing a lot of threes, 333, or sixes, or fours, a lot of fours actually, a lot of threes and a lot of sixes. Um, Sevens, a lot of threes, a lot of sixes, and then your entire spread ends with two tens. Two cycles are getting completed for you with this solstice energy. So financial abundance is coming through, and it comes after like tables completely turning around, right? Remember, there's no stagnation at all going on in this energy. That's why I did Taurus right after Pisces, because both of you are done with the stagnation. It's forward movement, moving forward. A lot of amazingness. You have strength, and I mean strength. And it's crazy because Pisces has the same thing. So you might have both of these in your placements. Um, Lots of strength, listen, three is a fucking crowd. Period. End of story. Bottom line. Three or more is a clusterfuck. Period. End of story. Not entertaining any other fucking statement. Okay. There is a birthing, a creation, and it could be a physical pregnancy, it could be the pregnancy of a union, it could be the pregnancy of your manifestations, it could be anything, but it's amplified, it's doubled, right? It's intense. And basically this is karmic justice. It's justice. Three's definitely a crowd, I'm sorry, end of story. And there is karmic justice in play. I do see somebody trying to come forward. They've been trying to come forward with commitment. And again, it could be a job. They want to offer you a job, but they're waiting for budgets, end of year to close out so they can use next year's funding. And they can't offer it to you until next year's funding becomes available. Then there's it could be anything in any place of your life. This is the energy of that. And I just see this coming through, and they want to come through, and it could be a relationship. And they've been trying, but their mindset, or the way that the mind works for them and you in this dynamic, it has almost, so to speak, been quite difficult to present that commitment. And again, it could be a job waiting for next year's funding. It could be somebody waiting for a divorce to finalize. It could be somebody who's already divorced but waiting for their ex to move the fuck out or get the hint. It could be that you graduated but you haven't had your actual graduation yet. It could be anything like that. It's just not where it needs to be, and they understand that, or the situation is happening because of divine intervention, so to speak. But whatever the obstacle is that's stopping this person from giving you what you're supposed to receive from them, I feel like it comes from acknowledgement. Like some of you might be in a relationship with someone or a dynamic with someone, and they're tired of dealing with you or waiting on you to get your shit right. So they have energetically and emotionally cut your ass the fuck off. And now you recognize this, so you're moving forward towards them as they're getting ready to pretty much put that rose on the coffin and be like, yeah, you're friend zoned. I'm fucking done, kind of shit. And that's what that's what solstice in general is about. It's about raising that vibration up so that way you can see things from a different perspective and put yourself in a better alignment, because you can't keep repeating the same karmic cycles. If they're not improving, they're just staying the same way or stagnant, right? So that other individual or the other part, it's in play, it's in works, it's in the works. And there's a lot of energy of being, I don't want to say smitten. That might be an applicable word, but I almost feel like admiration. Like it's weird. It's not weird. It's just a lot of different positive emotions kind of braided into one. It's almost like if there's any emotion in the world that this person could feel that would be relevant to admiration, smitten, um, surprised, all this otherness, it's like all into one. This person, it's almost like when you have your first crush, it brings it like you get body slammed, right? You're like, oh shit, you're kind of fucked. You get the butterflies in the stomach, you get really fucking nervous, you drop like pipe wrenches and stuff like that, and you do things because you're in that vibration of being a huge clusterfuck within yourself of random different emotions while you're working through them all. That is coming back very strong, and if it's already back or it's never left for some people, amplified. It's going to be amplified. It's going to be like cloud 9. So again, you could probably get that job like, hey, it's the end of the year. We want to give you this position. You can't start until this day, but just know that we're giving you that commitment. It could be that phone call you're waiting for. It could be an acceptance letter into your favorite school, even though you're not starting until next semester. And it's probably months out, but hey, you got your acceptance letter. You can't wait. You're excited, right? It could be a positive pregnancy test. Holy shit, you're fucking pregnant. You can't wait. It's going to take you 9 months to have that kid, but you're having a baby, right? Um, all that stuff. It's all that type of energy coming through. And I feel like because you were getting ready to put the rose on the coffin and friend zone something, or give up on a certain school and accept another offer, or quit your job and accept a different offer, or no longer wait for that opportunity because you didn't have a start date and take a different opportunity nowhere near, so it's not even like you could turn around and be like, oh, I changed my mind kind of deal. Um, it's almost like as soon as you're at that point of being like, fuck this, um, the person comes forward, or the dynamic just shifts, it changes. And things come into play the way that they're supposed to. I keep saying, so I know a certain person is going to watch this video, and I appreciate you tuning in, but I made sure anything relevant to you would not come through my lips, so you can remove yourself from my space respectfully. So, respectfully. So Taurus, basically you are in this beautiful energy. You've got some great stuff coming through. Again, I'm focusing on the higher vibrational energy of Taurus. I'm not focusing on the other side. And again, if this doesn't feel like it's in alignment with you, flip the coin, spin the table, and you'll understand your role here. So Taurus, Beautiful. Two new karmic cycles have started for you. You're using your judgment much better than what you've used to. And even though the offer or the opportunity is not presenting itself to you the way that you want it or you hope for it, it's still coming through. Just as you're giving up, just as you're like, I'm fucking done, it still comes. And I do see that it takes off beautifully and it's reciprocated and it's divinely protected. Like divine timing, divine protection, divine everything. Um, respectfully, respectfully. So just make sure you keep your vibration high and you're doing what you need to do. You want to make sure you're taking care of yourself, loving yourself, sending love out, raising your vibration up high, being genuine to the people around you, and having patience. Not too much patience. And if you need a lot of patience, communicate while you're in that patience flow. So that way other people are aware of what you're aware of and everybody's on the same page. So that's what I have for Taurus. The next sign is going to be Cancer. Cancer. So this is different. They broke the Cancerian energy out differently for me, and I'm very grateful for it. So you've been in motion, like silent movement, like swift movement, silent movement. When the full moon hit, which is also solstice energy, um, it was like you know, like if you're having company and your house isn't clean, you get up and you clean that shit, and like what usually takes you like a week to do or all day to do, you just get it done, right? It's like, oh, whew, like moving around like that, like really, or like actually really changing things drastically around the home because somebody's coming over or something. Um, respectfully. There's a lot of getting grounded energy for you too. So it's almost like, I don't know if you were grounded throughout the whole thing and you kind of reflect back and you're like, I don't know how I got all this shit done, but I got all this shit done in just in the right amount of time kind of feeling. Um, and this comes because of this is because of divine energy somehow, some way. There's something to do with divine energy in here. Um, respectfully. It's like you changed your whole world. You changed your whole life. Some of you had two two influences. I hope I'm getting this right. Some of you had two influences. Um, one is not worried and one is worried, or one you worry about and one you're not even like done. Um, or one is more intellectual or book smart, and the other one is more of like a hot mess. Uh, kind of flow, like lower vibrational, not really you see what I'm saying? That kind of flow. And Cancerian energy somehow, some way got uplifted. They got like a spiritual awakening going on. They ascended. Um, I don't know where you're at on your path. There's so many different Cancerian energies out here. But something happened divinely that put you into motion, and it was almost like you picked your gem. You picked your gem. You picked the one that uh is literally like a hidden gem. And or if you didn't pick your gem, you're holding it closer to you now and you're kind of like, yeah, you picked your gem. even if you didn't mean to, you still picked your gem. I'm getting like, yeah, the gem. Like I can see the gem in the person's hand, and the focus that's on it is not, it's not like, oh my God, I choose you. It's more of a intellectual, um, this is like a fucking no-brainer kind of shit, holding on to that gem. And it's just like, I don't want to call it possessive because it doesn't spin off possessive. It feels more like, yeah, I guess it's borderline possessive. It's borderline possessive. It's kind of like, you know, in Finding Nemo, when all the seagulls, those pigeon things, they're like mine, 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 like fighting over any and everything that comes up. Mine, mine, mine. It's that mine. You understand? It's like, make no mistake, this is mine kind of feeling. Um, and the one that the other influence was the one that felt more like a hot mess, felt more like, like codependent, right? Because solstice, we're clearing codependency, we're clearing toxicity, we're clearing things that are not in alignment with where we want to be, where we want to go in life. So that other energy felt kind of like codependent, very worried, very like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do if I'm not the one that gets chosen here because I'm not capable of taking care of myself kind of flow. Like, I'm not saying like that person or that situation can't work a job. I'm just saying they live way above their means, way above their means. Um and it doesn't necessarily have to be financially. It could be intellectually. They could be, big dreams and whatever. I don't know. Wherever it fits, it fits. But they're just way above their means. And that intellectual person, that person that is, so like one person stagnant. This is people, okay? Energy, Cancer. One is stagnant, like, this is it, no more improvement, this is what you get. Whereas the other one is like a never ending blossoming rose, right? There's like rows and rows and layers and layers. And as you would think petals would fall off, they haven't fallen off yet. Meanwhile, the other flower, the petals are falling off, they're drying out. It's just not as desirable, right? And this is what you want. This is what Cancer wants. And I feel like the anxious hot mess feeling is that worriedness about past actions. There's somebody from your past, or somebody who's about to be in your past, feels more like it's already in the past, who's really concerned about the level of intimacy that you're having. Um, there's like, huh, for some of you, and don't force this to fit, I don't like to talk about it, but I very much so know that it's real. For those of you who were psychically attacked, energetically attacked, manipulated in any kind of way into being in a dynamic that you didn't want to be in, when I say psychically attacked, I mean like any type of craft, period, even verbal attacking, people kind of pretending to be friends and saying certain things to you just to make your mind function or stray in a different way than what it's supposed to. Those all count. Those are all in this category. Okay. That was going on. that was going on. There was external influences in play. And I don't know which ones it is because I don't touch that type of low vibrational energy. Um, but it's done. And the anxious energy is a hot mess because no matter what they did, it couldn't be undone, right? It's divinely protected. It's divine order. Somebody's putting burdens down just so they can get into a union. Some are just doing that spiritual solitude, going within, focusing on themselves. And then the storyline part of it, of course, there's a lot of patience in play. And this could be that you've already been extremely patient, or you're being told that you need to be patient. So quick communication as far as working towards matching somebody's flow. Quick communication as far as doing what you have to do. So either one of you could be in a dynamic where you are a laborer and the other one could be in a dynamic where they're not, but they still make adequate flow. You guys are somehow, some way in alignment with balancing each other out. One of you took a serious beating, and I don't know how, right? It could be intellectually, drained intellectually. Um, but the bottom line is you stuck it through, you did the hard work, and now it pays off. There's a lot of financial abundance surrounding you um in the tangible physical realm. There's also this there's also this really radiant energy. This, you could be dealing with someone who is equivalent to a high priestess. You could be dealing with someone who's a high vibrational energy. You could be dealing with someone who is completely balanced within themselves. But somehow, some way, you are abundantly matching one another somehow, some way, right? So, um, relationships are, for me, they're yin yang, where you lack, the other person has to excel, and then once you guys find balance within each other and you come into union, you both excel um significantly, not so much where you lack, I fulfill, you now teach each other and you grow. Which is why it's so important to be in union with someone that you can learn from. Otherwise the relationship goes stale, it gets stagnant. And that's how you know you're not with your person, because your person's supposed to stimulate you. Your person's supposed to really pull you out of that comfort zone, kind of crack that shell for you and help you to grow and expand and be the best version of yourself. And because, like the planet, everything is always in motion, energy's in motion, quantum physics. Um, you need that constant growth, right? Those flames on a candle, they need fuel, they need that wick in order to grow. The flames to keep going, right? If you take away the wax, or when the wick gets to the very bottom and there is no more wax and you're kind of on your last thread, it just burns out. There's nothing left to do. There's nowhere, no growth. And you're with someone, or you're about to be with someone who keeps that wick going, that fuel burning, and you guys are constantly in motion. You are constantly growing in some manner, and it's a nice home feeling, home dynamic. Um, you still got to stay on top of your person, right? Because one of you, and I'm pretty confident it's you, Cancer, one of you is like phenomenal with money, and the other one is probably definitely not their own money anyway. So the idea of one person in in this specific scenario, the idea of one person kind of wearing the pants and holding the wallet kind of deal is totally reciprocated. And I feel like that beginning flow of possessive is where this is appropriate, right? It's like possessive is such not a good word, but it's the best word for the way that this feels. So you could be in a relationship with someone and find them overbearing, overprotective, overly in your shit. Um, and then that person could go on and be with someone else. And because of who that person is and their type of dynamic and the way that they radiate and so on and so forth, that overly protective, borderline possessive, I'm going to handle this part is very much so in alignment with that type of relationship. So what would be considered obsessive, stalkerish, completely out of line for one person, it might be a thank God, I don't have to worry because I know so and so's always got like an eye and an ear out, kind of flow. And I just feel like that is what that dynamic is about somehow. It's kind of, I don't know why that's coming up off of these cards, but it's like in my face, right? It's like I'm not for everybody. I'm very transparent. I'm very straightforward. In your face kind of a flow, right? Like I'll have a client call me, talk to me, lie to me, and instantly I will put you right in your shit. I don't care. I'm not your friend. I am me, and I'm not here to waste time. And you lying in our dynamic, one, will frustrate the living shit out of me, but two, it only hurts you because you're withholding the correct information, which is in alignment with my information, which causes conflict. And I just, water it down because you're clearly not ready for the truth, right? Which is a waste of your money and my time. So, Cancer, you are either you or the other person is very, you know, I don't want to say it's like me, but it's kind of like you don't mind being disciplined to a certain degree. There's like that playfulness aspect to it. Um, it's not like an abusive relationship. It's more of like you're in a relationship with an emperor. Do you think an emperor is going to act like a kitty cat with his empress? No. But make no mistake, she knows how to tame that lion, right? So it's a different type of flow. It's a very, basically, if it's not you, it's the other person, but one of you has to be that submissive person who gives in and just loves unconditionally and is very submissive. Um, to keep that person secure, not because they have insecurities, but because the level of their authority within their ancestry uh, is this is who the fuck they are. Take the good with the bad or hit the road kind of flow. And I think that's perfect because the other person in this dynamic again has that temperance energy, that unconditional. They have that ability to boss up like a lion, and then they have that ability to kind of cool it off like a little cat. Patience, lots and lots of patience. I'm just hearing patience. And yeah. So that's it for Cancerian energy. Where are we? Um, Somebody's really worried about a baby. I don't know why. Somebody's really worried about a baby. Or maybe like if you give someone else a baby, it's probably going to really upset someone else. And someone's really concerned Should you have a baby with someone else, they're probably going to be really, really upset. Um, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there. So that's it for solstice energy for Cancer.